YouTube.
And now at this point, can I say you guys should have gotten an email for members to access the online portal now for the videos going forward?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Then we're 1 minute away from Facebook.
Ben, that clock is right on point behind you to the second.
Is it?
I'm watching it.
Fantastic.
Right is it? Yeah.
Say hello to Sachi and Deanna. They're here.
Hello, Sachi. Hi, Indy.
Deanna.
Oh, Deanna. Sorry.
Yeah, sir. Maybe Indy.
Hi, Deanna.
Who knows?
Warming up a little bit.
Yeah.
15 seconds.
Yeah, it's right on. 3, 2, 1.
What is up, you guys? Sawadee Kop, everybody. Coach Matt and Coach Dan here. Would love to open up to any questions right off the bat. So those of you that have been following, we've been putting out our online curriculum for the last week. So thank you so much for all the support that we've got already on those. It's been super cool. They were on YouTube for the first week, so going forward, we're gonna have them just for members. So you guys should have gotten an email just to how to log into that portal, and that's where all the videos will be going forward. So this last week, it's been low kick offense. So yeah, we're gonna open up these Q&A sessions once a week, kind of tailored if we can around the curriculum. Keep in mind, you guys can ask us any questions at all about technique, training outside, bag routines. We've got a bunch of equipment if anyone has any questions on pads and things like that. So this week we're going to try to look around mostly the low kick offense curriculum, and we'll show some of our favorite stuff, and hopefully we get a lot of questions. For those of you that don't know us, I'm Coach Matt Bloss, coach in Boulder, used to coach at Arvada. I've had the chance to coach all through Easton, from people's first smokers up to national title fights at AB, NC class, mostly amateur. Myself as a competitor, fought as an amateur up to the national level. And then I'll turn it over for those of you, I think most of you know, Coach Dan.
Hi, Coach Dan, with Easton for a long time. I've been training and doing Muay Thai for about 12 years. So I got a lot of experience in kickboxing and Muay Thai, and yeah, I have a bunch of different records of amateur records, pro records. I got wins, losses, a lot of different types of experience in and out of the ring. So I'm happy to answer any questions you have about anything, and any techniques as well. I like doing it all. This is my passion. I like to talk about anything you guys want.
Nice. So hopefully we'll have some questions start rolling in. We're going to be here for the next hour. Some of the stuff that we thought about too is to show maybe some of our favorite partner drills. We've been seeing a lot of cool videos from the Easton Muay Thai community. You guys have been training, whether it's out at parks and different stuff. It's been super cool. So it looks like a lot of us are doing some partner work. So it seems like that's been kind of the biggest form of training for everyone outside the gym. I've been getting a lot of heavy bag questions as well. For those of you that are that have a heavy bag at home, any questions in regards to that too?
Yeah, feel free to ask a heavy bag. If you're at your house right now and you have a heavy bag, ask a question. We'll show a technique, and you guys can run it on the bag while you're watching this video.
Exactly.
Run it. Any questions you guys want?
Cool. But do you want to get started with just some drills right off the bat that we can show some of our favorites for the low kick offense week? So we're gonna get geared up super quick, you guys. But as we're doing this, please feel free keep those questions rolling in. We're super psyched. We're on YouTube and Facebook. If you guys want to spread the word to everybody, it's on the Easton.Online Facebook. Just type that in the search bar. Same thing, Easton.Online YouTube page as well. So, you know, some of the concepts we were looking at in the video series, I showed kind of going the power hook to low kick. We showed the concept in our intermediate advanced classes of corralling, using our strikes to herd into low kicks. And we want to show just some fun Dutch style drills that you guys can do with your partners, you know, with your teammates. And even shadow boxing some of this stuff as well. I know a lot of us are kind of at quarantine, just out of luck right now without a training partner, but keep that in mind. These things can be tailored. Coach, do you have one right off the bat, or do you want me to get going?
Go ahead.
Okay. First drill I like is just simple. Kind of closing the distance for rear uppercut, liver shot, and jumping out off the angle on our low kick. So one thing didn't have really a chance to touch on, but I love about the low kicks is that we can be almost in zone one. You guys have, let's come right here, coach. Can be almost in zone one and create the angle from my low kick really close. So this next one, right, simulating backing up for a couple short shots, finishing with that low kick hopping to the outside. So it's just gonna be a double jab. I want your partner to move back a little bit, kind of simulating like we're pushing them back. So just 2 steps, boom, boom. As we come in, I want to go rear uppercut to split that guard. The Muay Thai guard especially, right, our tendency sometimes leaves that tunnel a little bit. So I'm coming up the tunnel with my rear uppercut, keep the guard up, touching the liver shot. Now I'm basically gonna hop to a horizontal step. Okay, normally we show this on the bags. I'm in space, I'm stepping to more of a 45. After this shot, being in so tight, I'm gonna wanna step out to hit my low kick. So you guys can kind of see a little bit. The step is here, bang, I'm still chopping down. Okay, it's a little more advanced concept, but again, one you could do getting a little bit closer to the bag and trying it there, but let's just run real quick. It's gonna be double jab, hush, hush, I back them up, rear up, liver shot, coming down. One more time and I'll have coach running on me. Hush, hush, hop, hop, bang. You want to try a few, coach?
Let's do it.
Let's get it. Hop, 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 eesh. One more, and notice how he's backing me up, getting on our back foot. That's one concept about the low kicks especially, is when I have somebody backing up, it's a great time to throw a low kick. We didn't touch too much on that, and the reason being, I always say 2 things happen. One, if I'm going back and I block the kick, I'm either going to have to stop to check, right? And that's going to leave me open for follow-up strikes, or a lot of times what will happen, people try to turn away, open up even more to the kick. One more, coach. Double jab, hop, hop, up, liver, and low. So again, that's just one that I like to look at, that in-tight low kick, right? As you get more advanced, you start to find, right, the low kick that you learned in kickboxing might get tweaked a little bit for advance, for different scenarios and things like that. So that's just one, the in-tight low kick, great place to drop it in. Cool.
You guys want a question?
Let's get a question.
Let's get a
I would
question.
love a
Bring it-
question.
bring
Hope
it
you
on
guys
set.
enjoyed that drill to kick it
Give me
off.
the question.
All right, so from YouTube,
gonna
this
take
is
a knee on this
2
one.
people are asking this. We got Nikki Hughes and James Pritchard. They're both asking.
Love those 2.
They're like, if you don't have a bag or a partner, besides shadow boxing, where can I kick hard?
Well, do you have a post? If you have a post at your house, maybe wrap some pillows around it and
Dense pillows. Those 2 can kick pretty hard. This is kind of funny.
Yeah.
I wish I could say more people had. They were a lot more popular when I was like in high school, but things like love sacks or bean bags, where you can still practice the rotation. Want to make sure, obviously. I don't know if you guys saw the YouTube video where a kid like loosely duct taped the pillow to like the corner of the wall, and it was like
You don't want that.
hanging off there kind of, and he was like kicking it, and then the pillow fell and he kicked into the corner of the wall. So be conscious of your striking
Basically,
surfaces.
if you have like a strong structure of any sort, maybe like an old couch, make sure there's nothing sharp. Make sure it doesn't move, and maybe wrap it around it with some pillows, some extra cushions, and just make like a big gap, like a good foot of cushion, and maybe you could try kicking that. I mean, that's really the only thing I can think of.
Couch cushions,
couch cushion
are really good. If
I
you
have
wanna
I have
stack
an old bag that I use. It's not hung up at all. It's just an old bag that I had in the garage for a long time. I've posted that thing up against the wall and used that to kick as well, and just kind of like centered it and using that for kicks. I mean, it's really hard to say like what you have, but there's always some way to set something up. I'm sure if you just look around your house, I'm sure you can find something.
So, and again, if you can't work on full power and you have something, right, you can work on your accuracy. You can still work on your hip rotation. You can work on the speed of it. You can work on kind of going from quarter, half, full kicks, all different things. So we do have to be creative in these times, but those are, hopefully you guys got a little something there.
Yeah.
That's useful. I'd never thought about like just using a post and wrapping something around that.
Yeah.
But that makes a lot of sense. Also because I have little baby sensitive shit, like thinking about kicking anything.
Yeah.
I do too, now that I
So-
haven't been training as much, man. If you
So
don't,
she says, thanks guys, I'll wrap my pad around the fence pole near my house. Couch cushion is also a great idea, so that's good.
couch cushion and belts. Yeah, like if you can belt that
yeah.
thing down and kind of get it circular and
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
That would probably
Just
be-
double check your work though. You don't want
Yeah.
you don't want to miss
any
it.
soft spots. Yeah. you-
Double check the work for sure.
I like it. So we've got another cool question. I'm going to butcher his last name, from Steven Musciano.
Okay.
And he's asking, so the topic is training through injury. Any recommendations for training with a sprained ankle?
Well,
Kick it off, coach.
as long as you can put weight on it. If you cannot put weight on it, I would not recommend training at all. If you can put weight on it, I would think about techniques that you could do with your feet on or putting your weight on the other leg. Maybe it might be a round kick. Maybe if, say like your rear leg, my ankle's hurt my rear leg, but it's okay, I can move a little bit. If I can't put any weight on it, let's just stay off of it. But if I can put weight on the other leg, I can try other techniques with my right leg without touching my ankle, right? I can use my shin to hit the bag. I can use my knee to touch the bag. I can put my weight on my jabs and my hooks. Anything where I can put a lot of weight on the opposing leg that's not injured, I will work on those techniques instead. But like I said, if it's bad and you can't even put weight on it, then stay off of it until you can, and slowly bring it back until where you feel comfortable. Like I remember one time when I hurt my ankle real bad in a fight, I started off with boxing. Just drew real heavy jabs, really keeping all my weight on the rear because my rear one was messed up. And eventually bringing up the kicks, bring everything together. But you start with something real easy like boxing, and then maybe go to elbows, and then maybe start adding your knees in. Start building it up real slowly, right? So it starts like from being injured where you can't use it to little bits at a time, and just kind of add it in as you go. That's what I would do.
Yeah, the ankle's a tough one, right? Because of how much
You use it, yeah.
you really use it for. So finding any techniques, like just kind of play around, super slow, obviously, and find any techniques that doesn't bother, right? So probably wouldn't be doing like skip knees and Sanchai teeps and things. And like Coach said, maybe you work on getting close and using your inside boxing where you're not quite as twisting heavy on your feet, things like that. You know, in the case of an arm or different things like that, I've actually, with Muay Thai is so cool because really they always joke, but still have 7 of your 8 weapons. I remember one of the Corey Sandhagen, if you guys know Coach Corey, high altitude, obviously one of the best fighters and mixed martial artists in the world right now. But I remember when he broke his arm, watching him hit pads with Sean, you never would have guessed. So, you know, there's always workarounds, and the motivation's tough because you're not going to be doing it as skilled or as balanced as you were earlier. But even like having some sort of consistency can go a really long way, especially when you're injured. It's the emotional state of it too, right? It's a bummer not being in the academy, seeing all your friends, which we're dealing with right now as well, and why we're connecting this way. But always little, you know, workarounds that you guys can do.
Very cool.
Thank you for the question. That was it Steven?
Yeah, that was Steven. He said
Awesome. Thank you,
he
Steven.
said it made sense. Thanks, Coach.
Cool.
Also, Wit7 is the screen name I'm seeing.
Cool.
Also mentioned that you can grab an old tire from an auto shop and secure it to a post as a way to kick hard.
Great idea.
Thought that
Yeah,
was
if
really
you guys
clever.
didn't hear that, yeah, using an old tire is great. You could actually make a bag. In Thailand, they have what's called tire bags, and they stack like 3 tires up. And they actually use the tires a lot. They use tires for simulating jump rope, and you just rock back and forth on the tire. Yeah, but he said put a tire up,
Do they have
secure
one
a
of
tire, you
those?
kick the tire, same thing.
When you were in Thailand, remind me what camp you were at, Coach?
I was at Lion Muay Thai.
Lion Muay Thai, did they have the tire
Yeah,
bag
they
there?
had like a few
Would
of
you
them,
do
yeah.
like knees and stuff like that? What would
Mostly
you
just
use it for?
punches and kicks if you can get up high enough. But it was mostly punches. They would swing back and forth. But the way it feels is amazing. Hitting tire, I really wish we had something like that because it brings me back. Tires are a huge thing. Yeah, if you have an old tire, use it for bouncing like jump rope as a warm up, and then that's a great idea. Whoever said that.
Wit 7. That
Wit
was
7.
very Thai
Yeah,
style.
it is.
Yeah, that's
very
an old school
Thai suggestion.
style.
I like that.
Yeah, set that thing up and secure it just like the couch cushion idea, and that would actually be better and give you a little rebound as well and help build the conditioning on your shin too. So
I mean,
great idea.
nobody's using their cars right now. Everybody's
Don't
got
worry.
4 tires.
Yeah, take your tire off
Come on.
your car.
Nothing, right?
Yeah.
Kick it.
Just take the tires off. You're not using your car. Just take them all off and just make a bag out of it. But great. No, that was a great thing to add in there. That was a perfect idea. Thank you for reminding me about the tire bags.
Good stuff. Couple shout outs. Luma says hi. She's watching.
What's up, Loom? From Castle
Sean
Rock.
Madden's on here. He said something. Sawadee Cobb. Danny
Sawadee
looks
Cobb.
strong. D Mach Mach. I don't know what that is. Sorry. So you guys are gonna have to.
And guys, the guys that want the Godfather, Sean Madden, don't worry, he'll be on our next Q&A.
That's insider lingo.
Sean will be up here next week.
Hell yeah. I got another one from Edward Simpson.
Nice.
He's
What's up,
asking,
Eddie?
so there's 2 questions here, but they're all connected.
Cool.
So tips for closing the distance on longer opponents, moving from zone 3 to 1 without getting hit.
Definitely some good ones.
Yeah. Head movement is going to be huge there. We can go and demonstrate a little bit.
Perfect.
And he is, so Edward, he has a very like boxing style. He has good head movement,
Yeah.
so I think that'd be a good one for him.
So if you're for round one, if you're a taller person, what is your goal? Your goal is to keep them away, keep them at distance. Like use what you have, your length, right? So what some things you see in Muay Thai is what the number 1 teep, right? So you'll see him using that a lot. So what we do if you're using footwork, if I'm a shorter fighter and I'm not getting in as much, I'm going to result to more of my 50-50 stance. Why? So I can spring in and out, because you have to be able to go in and out. I'm not going to do this Thai style stance with him because I will get teeped and jabbed all the way out. So I'll use more of a 50-50 style. And a great one for teeps, if he's using his teeps a lot, right? If he's teeping me, right? What I'll use that is I'll use a feint, right? I'll feint the teep out, right? And then I'll get him to fall forward, and then you can now step in and attack. That would be one way to do it, is drawing the teep out and then using that to attack. Another one would be if he kicks you, being like what I like to do is I like to catch pretty much every kick, pretty much. So if he kicks me at all, I'll just grab the kick, right, boom, and then use that to step in, right? In the, whatever it is. The other one would obviously be the jab. Throwing a jab out there, I can use that, just kind of slip outside of the jab, right, and use that to step in, right, and then attack the left, okay? So a lot of it is going to be switching your stance up and being prepared to step forward and using your feints a lot, because I'm not going to be able to feint too much from my 70-30 stance, okay, but you will certainly be able to from 50-50. I can move in and out, right, use these feints to get him to react to it, and I use that to step in. So teeps, feint the teeps, head movement off the jabs and the crosses to get in, because these are the weapons that he's going to be using to try and keep you out, right? Long jabs, long teeps, usually some kicks too, but those are the weapons that he needs to be doing. That being said, if you're a taller fighter, those are what you need to be using on and getting better on. Mm-hmm. If you're taller than your person, boom, teeps, jabs, cross, keeping your partner away. And if you're shorter, your goal is to draw those things out, move your head, get off the center line, and step forward. So I would say the difference is like changing your stance up. If you're taller, more of a longer stance, 70-30, teeps, jabs. If you're shorter, I'm a little more to 50-50, being prepared to move my head, being prepared to go from zone 3 to zone 1 with my footwork, and so on and so forth.
Solid. That's awesome, Coach. Really good stuff. That's a lot, having that explosive speed style, right? You hear me yell in the corners a lot. I always say touch, pull, counter, right? Something non-committal. Get the longer person to throw, and then kind of making our explosive movement in. And one that I like, I don't get to practice this quite as much. Usually I have the luxury of being a little bit longer, but is the march, right? And that's established essentially what the march is I like to chain it with my teeps. And when we're marching, I'm in my stance, and I'm right here. It's not like a check. One thing I see people, when they march, open up too much and open up the center line. For the most part, when I march, it might be a little bit out, but I shouldn't be able to tell if I'm going and staying in place or getting closer, okay? Now this pairs beautifully with the teep. I have sometimes a little more of a clinching, like longer to clinch style, right? So if I can establish my teep and get them looking for it, okay, maybe they start reacting, then I can start using the threads, boom, to step in, different things like that. So one thing I like to do is use my long guard, kind of that Dracula style, where I go here. I like to protect for the overhand and come here while I march, right? So it might just be teeping, 1, 2, and as he's coming, right, you might eat a shot, right? That's kind of that more Thai style. I might eat one shot somewhere on my guard, but my chin is tucked, right? My orbital is out, all the hard stuff is out, and I'm protecting everything that's really vital, protecting my organs and walking in. So as he's throwing, I might wear one, boom, and use it to get inside and to clinch. So using that march.
That being said of marching, I want to add in there's two different ways to get in. March, right, is straight, and then we go the tiger walk is around.
Yes.
So you have
Really
kicks.
good point.
So you can use the setup to do two. You could use the teeps to step in or the round kicks to step in. Round kick, whatever would be the other side, and use the tiger walk where my hips flare out and I'm stepping in because it kind of looks like a tiger moving forward. And then the march, like Matt just said, using the teeps there, using the straight attack. So you might get a different reaction the way you attack. If I'm kicking a lot, I use a tiger walk, right, to fake the kick to step in. If I'm teeping a lot, I'll use the march forward straight. So it depends on what setup you're trying to do. A round kick or a front kick. Tiger walk for round kicks, march forward for teeps.
Yeah, and Edward, if you get good at this, I know you have really good hands, so you'd be dangerous as all heck.
All
Heck. What the heck? Cool. Thank you for that question. Hopefully you got a little something, right?
Yeah.
And I think what you're going to see is we're going to give what we like to do, right? And that's what's hopefully you guys can kind of play this into your own games, because everybody, Coach Dan and I have like similar but very different games once you get into the nuances of it. So hopefully you guys can give a couple things a shot here.
Very cool. I just learned a lot, that's for sure. Got some good techniques for getting in.
Looks funny
Getting
when
in
somebody's
tight.
walking at you like this too.
Yeah, but it makes so much sense. Just eat
Yeah,
it.
the
It's
long
good
guard is
stuff.
heavy.
So from Mitchell Garrett on Facebook, what would you recommend for burnout rounds for doing at home?
There's so
That's
many.
good. You
Yeah,
wanna
there
get
is so
some?
many, and obviously one of the hardest
Here,
things.
you can use this bag too.
There's so many that you can do, and obviously if you want to expend the most amount of energy, it will be kicking in some sort. But like what I like to do, the ladder kicks is obviously a huge one, right? Going 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 10, and if you're ready for it, you can bring it back down. But one thing that I like to do that I've been doing with some of the fight team is doing some sort of plyoelectric exercise, maybe a jump squat, kind of kill the legs a little bit, and then I'll fire on the back. So I usually do it for time, maybe a minute on of doing jump squats or jump lunges, and then a minute, 30 seconds of the right leg and just firing kicks as hard as I can, and then the left side 30 seconds. And for the arms, I'll do the same thing. I'll maybe do push-ups, clap push-ups, dive bombers, whatever it is, some sort of anything to burn the arms out. You want to kind of kill the arms, and you want to see how much power you got left, and that's going to help you build your endurance for power, and you're going to help your conditioning go up as well. So I usually do like arms, legs, and I try to fire on the bag like a minute of some sort of technique while keeping it clean, right? So if I say I did push-ups, boom, I'll come up and I'll think of a power combination. Maybe go across and lift, and I'll try to just do that as clean as I can. And maybe go to jump squats, right? Jump squats. Maybe what I do is a double kick, right? I'll go, soft power. You know, same thing like that. But I will say, if you incorporate kicks in some way and you're doing over like 50 kicks within 2 minutes, you're going to get tired for sure, and that's one way to get good conditioning. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Incorporating kicks. Yeah, I'm sure Matt's got one as well.
I have a few. It's like a 3-round circuit I like to use when I was fighting a lot for burnouts. It's 3. You could do 2-minute rounds or 3-minute rounds and kind of change your timing accordingly. one more upper body focus round, one knee and teep round, and then one kick round, right? So I like to get my conditioning for Muay Thai, if possible, through the sport, right? Obviously, that hopefully fighters that are watching, that doesn't mean skip road work, right? We're still always doing our road work, but those explosive movements need to be very ingrained in our central nervous system, right? And we need to be able to fire it without expending a bunch of energy. But the round I like to use, the 3 rounds, my upper body round is just 20 seconds of 1-2 punches, right? And I'm keeping an eye on the clock. It's 20 seconds of body, head, so a little more boxing style. I'm gonna root down, right? Body, head, body, head. Right? You can mix it up a little bit, straights, hooks, okay? And then it's 20 seconds of single power shots. So taking my time a little bit to an extent. I'm not just going for speed, but right? So 2 passes there, 2 minutes. That could be your upper body round. Do something similar so my skip knee, right? 20-second skip knee, and then a lead teep burnout for 20 seconds. 20-second skip knee, rear teep for 20 seconds. 20-second skip knee, alternating teep for 20. There's a 2-minute round right there. And then for my round kicks, I like to finish because that's very energy expansive, right? So the first 20 seconds, I'm the speed kicks, right? Left and then right. 20 seconds, then I go back. 20 seconds of alternating, then I like to finish with the power. So 20 seconds of double lefts, 1, doing that on each side and then going back and forth. So that's just different ways you can break it up. This is really where you can work on your Muay Thai specific conditioning and power. And also make sure you're being conscious of technique while you do this.
That's one of the most important things, being conscious of your technique, because when you get tired, you lose it. So keep it.
It's the best time,
sharp,
honestly, to work on your
technique.
technique.
It'll help you grow and get better.
Is when you're just dead. So
the conditioning stuff goes forever. And I think we should do. I mean, we probably updated you guys on a conditioning list. I think every coach has some sort of way of conditioning, and I think it'd be great to maybe get something like that together for you guys to have some sort of conditioning circuits and have a whole bunch of different variations and options depending on what you have. If you have a partner, if you have a bag, if you just have your road at home. So if you do like old school Thai style, I used to go to the street, we'd do 10 sprints, we'd run back to the gym, and we'd do 200 front kicks, 200 knees, and 200 round kicks, and it's just like super classic and traditional.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but as long as we add in the full body, you're keeping your technique good, and you're doing some sort of explosive thing that translates to the fight in some way, and that's going to always go up for your conditioning. Oh, that's good.
There's really no magic way for conditioning, or there's tons of different methods, but
I think as all coaches, it would be great to get together, and we should get a nice conditioning list for you guys.
Yeah,
I think it would be good in this.
To do outside, it's a great idea.
It's going to be nice to do if you're inside and be able to feel like you've gotten a solid workout in. So I think, with that said, we should probably get something together like that, and we'll have something for you guys.
Oh yeah,
sweet.
There you go.
Hey, who is that from?
That was the burnout question.
Yeah.
That was from Mitchell Garrett.
Thank you, Mitchell. Appreciate you watching. Hope you're getting a little something. That was a great one.
Yeah, and everybody's digging it so far. So, all right, here's one from Kelly O'Neill.
Nice.
Tips for executing a spinning technique without getting mad dizzy, or is that just a her problem?
It's partial a her problem. No,
I actually have a specific way. I learned from figure skaters. Actually,
my thing is I don't practice a whole lot of spinning stuff in general. I like to only use things that work for me. So I don't do too much spinning stuff, but I think Matt's got something for you.
So on that note, yes, this is kind of a funny. I'll tell an anecdote with this. I played ice hockey growing up. Grew up in Salt Lake. The Olympics came to Salt Lake in 2002. Now the opening ceremonies were on ice. So all of the local hockey players and figure skaters, they just asked everybody to be in the opening ceremony. So I had to learn a little bit how to figure skate. Always wondered how they could spin around without getting dizzy. So this is actually a little detail I have given, but I use the camera as my point of reference. Is I want to keep my eye on the target as long as possible, right? So even as my body's turning, I'm still holding that eye contact to the last second, right? As I spin, this motion needs to be as quick as possible, right? So when you're doing it on the bag or something, but as I'm spinning, my head needs to come around first if possible, okay? That limits the amount of time that your field of vision is like constantly changing and shifting, right? Because it's steady, 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 boom. And now if you're doing that over and over, working your spinning back elbow, you definitely could get dizzy. So little figure skating trick.
In between, if you do it in between, break your rhythm out, come out of range,
yes.
Shake it out a
Take
little
a
bit,
breather.
get the wits back out of you, and then go again. But yeah, I mean, every time you teach a spinning technique, I literally get that question all the time, especially on the spinning back elbow. It's like I feel like I'm gonna fall over.
Yeah.
But it's because we're doing the reps over and over again. But if once you get the reps down, then break them up, boom. Then maybe move a little bit, you know, maybe go to like a couple different combinations, and then we'll go again, right?
Exactly.
Instead of just sitting here going.
Yeah. Because even with that technique, you're gonna get dizzy.
Yeah.
This
I
is
would just break
1-2.
it up and then do it, Matt. So you keep your eye on the target the entire time.
I'd like to know Coach Sean. You guys saw it. Remember in his lion fight bout when he was on the Liam Harrison and Malapet card? I know he threw at least 5 spinning elbows in that fight. So we can consult with Coach Sean too once we get him back. Thanks, Coach Kelly.
Yeah,
Appreciate you. Hope you're staying well out there.
Yeah, she was a little bummed that it's a her problem. All right, so from Mike Pipe on Facebook. He says, Matt, I heard you talk about styles a lot. How do you determine what kind of style you have or utilize?
It's a good question. Like in Thailand, a lot of the camps have their own style, right? So you go to like Jockey Gym, where like Sanchai and Lidzilla, even back to like Samart, people that was the Muay Thai style. A lot of camps are clinch camp, like that's just their specialty. So a lot of times, right, what's happening in Thailand is basically you're being told this is your style. You're going to be a Muay Thai, you know, because that's our gym's specialty. There's some, you know, boxing style Muay Mat gyms and things like that, but that's kind of how it works back over there. Now in America, right, you get exposed to a lot. So as far as like finding your own style, really it's getting, I call it the Muay Thai sandbox. A lot of tech sparring. Get in the sandbox and play around, and seeing what you have success with. You know,
it's what you have success with, right? You just get in there and see what's working best for you. Like for me, I like low kicks, so I use a low kick. So if you talk about like some of the people that do more traditional style, which is landing a lot of low kicks, that's pretty much, I've developed that style. I kind of like to throw a lot of low kicks.
Do you have any fighters that you like to maybe model your own game on, or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, and then every coach is different, and everyone's gonna have different people that work better with each coach. But usually it's about people. What I tend to find is people about the same size. You'll see the same similar style come out of people with the similar size. Stuff like that.
Yeah. So I know you have heavy kicks and heavy punches, Mike Pike. So you're that Dutch style. Ernesto Hoos. Go watch him. Go watch Robin Van Roosmalen and watch those guys. But you know, that's part of the fun too. It's like finding your style.
But maybe there's a style out there they've never tried, and then that is your style. So maybe you could. During the tech sparring rounds is when you practice your B and your C game, the things you've never tried before. That's when we do it. Sean always says, like on Saturday we do our A game, and during the week we work on our B and C games, and that's when we get our opportunities to play with stuff, and that's when again you're going to be able to find out what style works best for you. And like I said, if there's something you haven't worked on before, try it and see if maybe that will be your new style. Like one thing I added into my game was the long guard. Something I've never really done before, and I actually really like the long guard after doing it. I'm going to put my hands here, and
that worries me. No, that worries me because
that's what Matt's really good at the long guard. But that's something I've never done before. I really just learned the shell and then moving in and out. But then using the long guard allows me to just blast through everyone's punches that they're throwing at me, and it allows me to clinch. That's something I've never done before, but I realized that I really like, and it just took me maybe a month of trying it before I really actually felt comfortable using it and liking it. So I think it's just you finding what you like to do, seeing what works for you, and then don't be afraid to try new things. Don't get stuck on your A game. Try new stuff. Try your B game. Try your C game. Yeah. Expand. See what you can do.
And kind of expanding on that, I'm gonna make a jiu-jitsu parallel. Mike Pike's a pretty seasoned blue shirt, so you're going to be in this exploratory phase, right? In jiu-jitsu a lot, they say you start to find your real personal game towards the end of blue, and a lot through purple belt, which you're really coming up on. So my advice is like play, right? And you're gonna have, now that you're efficient enough, you can have, you know, some of those tech sparring rounds where you know you're a little more skilled and you can try these different things and continue to develop your game, you know, through purple shirt into brown before it's really solidifying it. So great question as always. Love you, Mike. I hope you're well, sir.
Peace, Mike.
I appreciate the jiu-jitsu analogy.
Thank you. That was for you. That was for you, Coach.
I like it. Sachi.
Sachi.
Hey, Sach.
On YouTube with us, and she's asking any recommendations for developing, improving balance.
Ooh.
Developing, improving balance. I like a lot of kicks. Using your round kicks where you're off of your balance and being able to retract and come back. I have like a lot of kick drills that I like to do, and it's off of the round kicks, and that's what I find the best way to develop your balance. And then you can use that to do like your speed kicks to throw it. But like I use my round kicks, and I always talk about tucking my leg, right? So I don't like to do what I call a lazy recoil, where I kick and my recoil is like super lazy. I like to kick and drag my leg directly back, tucking it back, and that allows me to have my balance and get it back. So some things that you can do to help you rely on your balance is kicking down to a jab, right? You can kick, boom, down to your teeth, right? I can kick, plant my feet, and then kick again, right? Just making sure we're getting centered back on our balance here. And like I said, working on kicks is where you're going to be off of your balance, off of your Richter. So being able to come back to it will help you develop better balance, right? So anytime you're getting off of your legs, you got to be able to get it back. So if you notice that you're falling off, try to give you something after the kick, a jab, a teep. I think one we did was the long guard. Right? I kick and my partner comes forward, I long guard as well, and just getting my balance back. So give yourself something to think about after you kick will help you retract and get your balance back. So like I said, kick to jab, kick to teep, kick to long guard, kick to knee even, kick to doubling up on your kicks. That will help you figure out how to get your balance back and then be ready for the next attack, whatever it is. That's one drill that I like personally. And I'm sure there's another one that will come in a second. But
So one of the questions I get a lot from our students who are going from kind of just hitting on the bag, maybe a little bit of pad work, but going to sparring, is they feel really unbalanced on their kicks. And one thing I think it's a lot of is not having a stationary target. When I have the bag, right, I can really like pick my spot, I know exactly where to step, things like that. So I like to do a lot of moving kick drills, right, where again, this would take a pad holder, most likely. If you'd had access to this room, you could do it on the bag, just kind of shuffling from bag to bag. But so one that I like is, Coach, I'm just going to hold for the kick and just kind of move backwards. You can give me like two. So we'll start you right here, kick, step back. So you got to gallop, right, or bump, right? And he's forced to cover the distance a little bit more as we're doing it. It's a simple drill, but it really, like, for me, kind of imprinted that brain-body connection of when to take those little steps to make sure my lead leg was established. And you can do the same thing, right? I could gallop into a switch kick and different things. So I like traversing drills. There's tons of different ways you could do.
Movement.
Yeah, a lot of movement, because that I think is a big shock for people who have had the bag. And not in your case, Sachi's actually had fights now, you know, and stuff. But that would be one. I do a lot of galloping and moving kicks. Helps me with my balance.
Yeah, and anything where you're in your stance, not like walking. Something when you're in stance, like the gallop. You're in your stance the entire time, moving whatever it is. I like the foot tap a lot. Work on the tight foot tap. So feeling the weight get put here and feeling the weight drop here. That allows you to feel where your balance is. And you can just practice doing stuff there. And then you can always result to that after I kick. If I fall off balance, then we'll just get back into that stance and kind of retain my balance there.
And strengthen your feet, y'all. I like to do a lot of Nick Kerson, Speed of Sport, Marv Marinovich, going all the way back. Watch the Marinovich project. But strengthening our feet, right? Almost every other sport that we do besides combat sports, we have shoes, right? And we kind of have this added benefit and things where a lot of our muscles in our feet tend to be a little bit underdeveloped. So that was a huge thing for me, like a lot of jumping, different, because you need to be explosive with your bare feet when you're striking in Muay Thai. So little things like that. If you have the ability to work out barefoot and develop those little stabilizing muscles too, that went a long way for me.
Yeah, that sounds good. Balance beam.
The beam. Cool.
That's been my morning workout.
Cool. Thank you, Sachi.
Yeah.
I'll let you kick me while I run away from you. We can work on that when you're back. Miss you.
Just that we have some more questions, but just full disclosure, the chat room is collectively voting for a sparring round at the end of this.
Okay.
It seems like they're all hungry for a sparring round, and it looks like they want to be vicariously through you guys. So anyway,
put your money on Coach Dan. I want to say that right now.
Let's get into some more of these questions.
I did hear people are raising money to hold sparring rounds. I heard that. And
that's cool.
To keep people entertained. And as of the diehards, they're holding live sparring rounds. And just filming the sparring rounds. I can see people paying more. So if you guys want that, let us know. We'll get 3 or 4 more people in
$5 per round. No.
Yeah.
This is how we keep the coaches paid. Is this it? Fantastic. So.
Cool.
James Pritchard is asking, do you have favorite combos, both of you guys, do you have favorite combos to throw after getting your opponent to check your low kick?
After checking the low kick?
Taking advantage of them being on.
So after getting your opponent to check your low kick.
So your opponent checks your kick?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So they cut on to it.
Yeah, so why I think that set things up, right? So there's so many, I could probably throw 20 your way on a setup here. But the first thing you do is see what they're doing, and your question is if they're checking. So I'm going to do things that will make him do that again, right? So maybe if I'm throwing a jab and a low kick and he's checking every single one, great, right? That's what you want him to do. So now we can do all kinds of different other things. So I make it look the exact same. So it looks like I'm going to attack it again, maybe fake the hips, boom, I'll shoot it and do the can and go over the top. I can do the reverse, right? Fake, boom, and attack. All you need is that. Once he's on one leg, he's screwed. Like it's going to be working in your advantage here. But like I said, you have to establish the check first. So he's got to be able to buy it, right? So if I'm throwing a jab, low kick, or whatever it is, up, cross, hook, low kick, if I'm getting a check out of them, you're good to go. And we can go over so many. Does he want more? I can show you a whole bunch of them.
Let's try a few more.
Yeah, maybe a few more.
Yeah, good. So say we'll just go off jab, low kick, right? So one that I like is the jab. First, I always go on the second one. That makes sense. So on the second one, here's another one. We'll do the Superman cross. Here, look at the check come out, bang, and the cross there. That's one of my favorite ones. Once you get the check to come out, just kick that leg back, bang, and attack. Okay. We just go over the can in a second here again. Boom. I kick my leg up, shoot it again. Boom. That one's great. That one's huge too. It hurts because no one's used to getting kicked there, so it stings. The other one is the reverse. Right? I use this motion to get the leg to come up. Once again, I just do the pendulum step. Bang, and then attack the rear legs. Really beat the rear leg up. I'm going to saw Matt throw a couple of them.
Yeah, so
there's so many.
I got 2 more right off the bat from that.
Yeah.
Right. We get, let's say, jab, boom, he checks. Okay, jab, feinting, posting, and running them right back through that. That was actually, I think me and T might have done that one on the curriculum videos earlier in the week. Chaining back to the videos, the power hook low kick. It's so simple, just 2 strikes that you can put so much power on. So once we have him on one leg, I feint, put the hook on his guard to bring the weight down, and just rip that low kick as the weight's coming in. I think that was like 5 or 6.
Yeah, maybe
right
I can keep going if you want.
Yeah, the goal too is it's like once you have him on one leg, it's like the world is your oyster.
Options are endless when you got one
You can fake into like flying bicycle knee. As long as it's all established through the fundamentals, you have them on one leg.
Yeah, I think the thing is establishing first, but don't go too crazy with all the techniques. I mean, there's like 20, 30 ways you can
get good at a few.
Yeah, get good at 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And then once you feel confident, like, oh, I got that one down, no problem, then move on. But like I said, rep it out. Do one 100 times, do one 200 times, and then get good at it, right? And then that's what I would recommend. I wouldn't recommend overloading, like we just threw 20 your way. Or I want you to work this one. Jason, work this one, right? So you're gonna go jab, James, excuse me. You're gonna jab, low kick, okay? I want you to work jab, can, and just work that guy. Boom, work that. You can even do that one on the bag too, just working on your footwork.
Yeah.
And attacking as well. Just work on one, man. Just pick one that you like and work on one. That's what I would recommend. And then when you feel comfortable, move on to the next one.
Very cool.
Thanks, Coach. Hope you're well, brother.
So we got one from Alex Castanen.
Nice.
On,
Gaston.
did I get that right?
Gaston.
Gaston?
Yeah.
So he's got one question for each of you.
Ooh.
Coach Danny, tips for speed, and Coach Matt, tips for countering. Ties in nicely, I think, what you guys were just doing.
For speed, well, it depends on what you want to do. You want to punch or you want to kick. If I'm kicking, I like to do the Sanchez speed kick drill, where he counts to 3. I'll use Matt, but I kick and I count to 3 here. So I kick once, plant my feet, 1, 2, 3, and kick, and attack. 1, 2, 3, attack. That helps my speed kicks. Why? What am I doing? I'm building explosive and speed. So every time I feel my feet move on the ground, I use that to fire and explode from the ground here. So instead of being here and relaxing, I use that motion. So every time my foot lands, boom, I spring, right? You can really work on your speed and attack. As far as punches go, I like to do speed punches on the back, like even though it's really basic, just using 1-2s and just firing as fast as I can and getting your speed up that way. One thing that I will say, if you have those egg weights, putting those egg weights in your hand and doing that same drill with your hands, you can do combinations with the egg weights. When you take those things off, your hands are like lightning fast, right? That's one thing that I like to do. I used to put on, I used to do like 20-pound weights on each hand. And I would throw just 1-2s, boom, for like a minute, drop them, and then I'd shadow box, and my hands would be like super fast, right? So it actually adds a little bit of weight to your hands when you shadow box, or if you're on the bag, and that usually helps. If you put a little weight on your hands and you take them off, they're fire, they're really fast. So depending on what you want, punches or kicks, 2 different ways there.
Nice.
Yeah.
So his question for me was countering.
Tips for countering.
Tips for countering. So for my style, one thing that really helped touching back is the long guard. When I tried to shell more and just react to every single thing that was coming at me, I had just like a lot more like brain panic, and it was just a lot more overwhelming. So I moved to the long guard. It kind of gave me more time to process. So one thing I do with my long guard is basically like if anything touches my long guard, I'm throwing something. So it's honestly, I'm more anticipating and trying to like intercept or jam than just countering something. But with that long guard, so like if we're out here, it kind of gives me a barrier, right? I know where his straights are coming. I know for his hooks to get to my head, he's got to make some sort of motion to come around my guard, where then I can move my feet. So again, whenever I touch, like I know if we touch our guard here, right, and I'm out, I know I can teep. I know I can inside kick. It's telling me a lot. So as far as countering, heavy punchers, it's long guard. I feel one punch or something on my glove, and I'm trying to use it to steer them across themselves and into the path of kicks. And then, yeah, so intercepting is kind of what I think of jamming, not letting them get their techniques. One thing I see a lot of in sparring is people will kind of play my turn, your turn. And you'll even see it at the highest levels, like Joe Valtellini, Nikki Holskin, if you remember their title fight, they were kind of just like drawing a line in the sand and trading combos for 3 rounds, where my style, I'm trying to, I call it, if you guys hear, I call it the old man Muay Thai. I'm always trying to keep distance so I can breathe and process what's going on. So I think it's more a matter of
adding on to that. I like to, for me, and if I'm building reactions for a fight, I'll talk about building triggers.
That's a great one. Yeah, that's one we do a lot. So
if he kicks me in the leg, I have an answer no matter what. So if my leg gets touched, boom, it just like fires me and makes me want to attack. And you can do that with anything. If it goes a body kick, I have an answer. Low kick, I have an answer. And that means, that goes off the no free shot concept, right? So if he hits you, you make sure you make him pay every single time. And that's what actually keeps a fight going. And I feel like that's one of the best ways to train for a fight, is building triggers and not letting any shots get through, right? So having an answer for everything. And what does that take? It means you have to have one specific technique, and you drill that thing over 1,000 times, right? So it's just there. You do it. You make that conscious motion unconscious. You do it without even thinking, right? So if he kicks me in the body, boom, I attack, or I check, or whatever it is that you do. One thing that helps in my counters is make sure you have triggers, building triggers, right? So he hits your trigger, boom, you fire right away. That's one.
Yeah, and even like, so if you can do it with a partner, like 3-for-1s. You know, one partner throws one, and even if it lands, right, he's not going to say, oh, shoot and stop what he's doing, right? Even if my punch lands, he's going to throw back 3, 1, 2, 3, right? And training your triggers and reactions is huge, right? Because a lot of times our instincts when we get hit, it's like to stop and start backing up. So I love that, Coach. That's a great one.
Awesome. All right, I'm really excited to hear your answer to this question.
Ooh.
So this is on YouTube from Neil Posca.
Okay.
And he says, maybe it is my background, but I don't get clinches. Why on earth would I ever want to be in a clinch? Everyone I am fighting with is going to be younger and bigger than me.
Neil.
From a self-defense aspect, Neil has a Krav Maga background, so I could see where he's coming from.
Well, look at any fight, Neil, and think about where every fight ends. It ends in the clinch. It ends tied up at some point. It's not really possible to keep your partner at distance the entire time, especially if your goal is to hurt someone, right? It's always going to end somewhere close, right? So it's good to know what you do there, what to do in the clinch situations. I feel like that's probably the best reason, is that every fight will end in the clinch. So you got to know what to do there, right? So yeah, it's great to keep the distance, but how long can you keep the distance for, right? Eventually it will come your way. You're going to have to be able to defend the clinch, right? So it's not good to not know any knowledge about the clinch. It's good to be able to have your posture not being broken down, how to escape out of the clinch, how to do damage in the clinch. It's just the huge importance of it. And like I said, some people do fight that way. Some people are clinch fighters and will engage and hit the clinch there, which means that they're better. So if I knew that you didn't like the clinch, Neil, I would clinch you right away.
For the sport, yes.
For the reason of the sport, because I know that it's not your strong point. So, I mean, there are reasons to have the clinch for sure, and it's good to be able to defend it when it comes your way, because it will come in any fight, in my opinion.
So kind of like just expanding two lenses that I would do this from. One is the sport of Muay Thai, right? You have to know clinching if you want to train Muay Thai. That's as big as part of it as the actual striking itself. And because 1 or 2 strikes, like we were showing with our long guard, something misses and all of a sudden we're here, right? And nobody's going to break us. It's very important we understand our balance, positioning and everything else. Now from a self-defense standpoint, a lot of stuff does get in this close, okay? And understanding how to even manipulate, turn, how to use your elbows and stay safe in tight is huge. Because ideally, somebody attacks me on the street and they're like, all right, bro, I'm gonna square up, right? And they give you all this time in this room, hey? But usually it's gonna be something like up here and they're already
if they're aggressive,
right?
it will definitely be in there. And knowing where to put your hands, and that would help you to be able to escape as well.
One thing he also said is people are stronger and faster than him, like younger.
He said everyone I am fighting with is going to be younger and bigger.
Younger and bigger. Okay. What I do with bigger fighters is I clinch them. That's one place where I can neutralize a lot of our physical advantages.
That's
right. So when I go with like Coach T and Coach Wes, I'm like doing the long guard, the march, and I'm trying to bring it in. Right. Even if it's just like for me a matter of wearing them down a little bit, maybe for the next round, but that's my strategy against people who are faster or stronger.
Yeah, using the clinch
like
to tie people up.
Slows things down. One of my favorite female fighters, her name's Maggie Wanek. She actually trains here when she's in for the summer. She lives at Hong Kong Muay Thai camp in Thailand, but Maggie, don't mean to put you on blast. You're awesome if you're out there, but her, you watch her striking, you watch her hit the bag, you're like, okay, pretty solid, right? You find out that she's a Thai stadium champion and all stuff because she knows how to wear people down, how to walk through, wade through like that first layer of strikes, and the clinch is exhausting, it's tiring, it's hard to move, right? And if I understand that from self-defense or the sport, it's just such a huge advantage. True. And I always say, right, if you say you do Muay Thai, you have to clinch. That's your duty in life.
That's true.
That's a knock more. That was jokes at the end. But thank you, Neil.
That was super interesting because when I saw that, I was thinking from a jiu-jitsu perspective, and I was like, well, that's like the fundamental principle is you get in close, you close the distance, because when they're in striking distance, that's where that bigger, stronger person can hurt
you.
But you get close, You say safe. A lot of clinch fans on Facebook. I got a couple.
Hey!
People were like, clinch is life. So,
Clinch it up.
Agreed.
So, yep, clinch is where it's at.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's not everybody's
anyway.
favorite, but it's
Not
one of the most
everyone's favorite.
important. One of the most
I
important
used to
parts
stay away from
of
it.
any type of fight
Uh-huh.
because it will end there. It'll get there at some point.
Once I see really how much you could do, it was going to Thailand that really opened it up for me, and having guys who weighed less than me throw me around
Yeah.
for an hour every
Good point.
single day.
Well, a lot of time in the beginning stages, there's that barrier that you can't cross, and you feel like this sucks. This is not fun. But I can assure that, like Matt said, that was actually my turning point too when I went to Thailand, because they clinched like no other. They clinched every day, 30 minutes, no break. And it was just getting in there and getting my ass whipped a little bit until I finally figured it out. But I know it's hard here because we don't clinch as much, and it's really hard to jump that barrier. But once you jump that barrier, it's like sparring. It's very similar to sparring. You and you get the ideas, and your balance is good. Get your neck broken down. You're defending yourself okay. It becomes fun. It becomes sparring. So I just encourage you to keep trying it, even if it's frustrating at first for sure. But if you overcome it, it will become fun. Once you get the concepts, and it'll be like sparring. It's it.
Yeah.
And then once you have that, you have one of the most important parts of fighting, and Muay Thai especially. So just keep your head up on that one. I recommend clinching for sure.
Yes.
All right. Well, we've been going for about 55 minutes here.
Dang.
I know,
I did
right?
go quick.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. So
Yeah.
we don't have any more questions right now. We got
Okay.
a few minutes left. You guys want to give the people what they want?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Spar for a little bit?
Let's do it. We'll take
Pritchard, I don't know what this means, but he said
Who's taking online bets right now? I'm just kidding.
He said 3 big boy rounds.
You know what? But this is no big boy round. But this is good. I think seeing this pace. So let's just do like a Thai style
Right.
spar.
Yeah,
I'm not
so
even
we
have
just
my
do-
mouthpiece in. This pace for you guys, right? This is the pace that we
This
like
is
to
working on the C game.
Yes, right. And
Few games.
we should be playing at a pace where we see where the threats are coming from, but we're not hurting each other. That's a Thai style sparring. Now, you need to get your intensity somewhere else, pads, drilling, things like that. But that's why we spar the way we do. So keep that in mind.
One thing that we do is I don't get offended if he lands a strike on me.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
go, I gotta get him back. I give him
You
props.
gotta
I go,
leave your
fuck
ego
yeah,
out.
it's good, right? That's what I give him.
People are psyched right now.
We'll try. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Right, and that's how you should make it a game. Acknowledge when they score, but keep going. Oh, yeah. Hey. Oh, yeah. Hey.
Got one roll of TP, bet on Dan. Bet in toilet paper, man.
You got
That's
toilet
currency
paper,
these days.
The toilet paper's mine. Oh, wait.
Relax, abide, says Sean. That was my Thai accent.
He's telling me, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. Love seeing the coaches spar.
Hey! Wait! Heard that one.
Thanks.
Hey! 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 Time. What do people think?
They're enjoying that.
Very
they really
cool.
like seeing that.
And really, I think that's a good example, right? Acknowledging when we score, but going at a pace where I could try a cartwheel kick, I could throw a head kick and he sees it coming and can crouch all the way down. Sparring should be fun and not this
There's
super...
a time and a place for hard sparring.
Absolutely, right? Especially you're fighting at Coach Dan's level.
That pace I could go 15 more rounds that pace, and it's fun.
He could.
He could too.
Sarah is very excited that you did something acrobatic, man. I'm sure maybe a spinning kick or something.
I cartwheeled.
I'm just impressed you guys can get your foot
Cool.
high in the air. But yeah, if you guys want to close it up, everybody enjoyed that. We can probably sign off.
Probably a good time to sign it off.
We'll be back next week.
I appreciate all you guys' questions.
Yes.
This is our first time doing this, so I think from here going forward,
Suggestions.
we're going to be able to make it a lot smoother on both parts, and on our part and your part. We'll have better questions. We'll have better things for you guys to do. Yeah, we're just going to keep getting ideas from here. This is great. I love this. I love talking about Muay Thai. This is my passion. And
that was probably the quickest hour of my my whole week.
I mean, that went by. Yeah, I feel like we just started. I mean, I could just keep going because it's such a passion of mine and one of my favorite things to do. And I just want to say thank you again. I appreciate you guys showing interest in what I love.
Yes, and you know, let's stay connected through all this. You guys have, like we said, check your emails to make sure, because we're moving the curriculum videos over to the online portal.
Just the advanced one.
The advanced. So there still will be the fundamentals and kickboxing on YouTube, but that'll kind of be the little extra. Any support, suggestions, things you guys want to see, we want to keep as connected and as engaged as possible while we're going through all this stuff. So again, just wanted to say thank you, Kap Kun Kap, from Coach Matt and Coach Dan at Easton Muay Thai. We'll have more awesome content coming out for you guys and keep everything going. Thank you.
Big ups.